Have you ever heard someone say, "I take it back," and actually mean it? Well, let me tell you about what might be the most significant recantation in history. A story that shook the foundations of scientific truth and human integrity. In 1633, Galileo Galilei, one of history's greatest scientists, stood before the Roman Inquisition. His crime? Defending the idea that the Earth revolves around the sun. Under intense pressure and the threat of torture, the 69-year-old Galileo did something extraordinary. He recanted. He got down on his knees and denied everything he knew to be true. The official record shows a humble man denouncing his life's work, declaring the Earth stationary, and rejecting the Copernican model. It was a victory for the church, or so it seemed. But here's where the story gets interesting. According to legend, as Galileo rose from his knees after his public recantation, he muttered under his breath, "Eppur si movenon," and yet it moves. These three words would become one of history's most famous acts of silent rebellion. Now here's what most people don't know. We can't actually prove Galileo said those words. In fact, the first written account of this famous phrase didn't appear until over a century after his death. But somehow that makes the story even more powerful. Why? Because whether or not he whispered those words, we know from his private letters and later writings that he never truly abandoned his beliefs. The real untold truth is far more complex and human. Galileo's recantation wasn't just about saving himself from punishment. It was about protecting his work and his students. By formally recanting, he ensured his research would survive, even if his reputation took a temporary hit. He understood something profound. Sometimes the truth doesn't need a martyr, it needs a survivor. What makes this story so captivating isn't just the drama of the moment, but how it resonates with our own lives. How many times have we been forced to publicly deny what we privately know to be true? How often do we choose survival over martyrdom, hoping that truth will eventually prevail? The most fascinating part? Galileo's defeat ultimately led to his greatest victory. His ideas didn't die with his recantation. They spread further, grew stronger, and eventually became the foundation of modern astronomy. Sometimes a strategic retreat can be more powerful than a heroic last stand. Today we remember Galileo not for his recantation, but for the truth he championed. His story teaches us that the path of truth isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it moves in circles, just like the Earth around the sun. And maybe that's the greatest truth of all, that even when forced to deny it, truth finds a way to move forward ever so quietly, but inevitably.